Hello everyone, myself Dr. Jyoti Mandala. Welcome you all to the video lecture series on object-oriented programming through Java. Now, we are learning about generic concept, where as part of this generic concept, we learned about what is generic method and what is generic class. Okay, so I hope you all are clear with with those two concepts. So how a method can be converted to a generic method and how a normal class can be converted to a generic class, and what are all the advantages of converting a normal class or a method to a generic. Okay, so now in today's class we are going to learn about how this generic concept, like whenever you are considering a class as a generic, then can we connect our inheritance concept to that generic class or not. So is that possible? If it is possible, then how it can be achieved. All those things we are going to learn in this lecture. Right, so for your reference I'll just revising what actual an inheritance is. We all know inheritance is nothing but we will be having one class where that class will be acquiring the properties of another class, which is nothing but you want to have a feature of reusability, isn't it or not? Something is already available, you want to make use of that one. In our Java programming, that something is nothing but your classes, like your methods in that class and all. So if a method is already available in one class, simply you can extend that class in your present class, and this class can get or acquire the properties, that means method of the other class. Getting all of you. And also you know what is generic method and generic class. The main use of this generic method and generic class is with single method declaration or single class declaration, we can have a set of related types. That means same method can be called with multiple data type arguments, with different types of objects you can pass as an argument. Where we already learned in the last class, like overloading concept can also be used, but what is the problem with the method overloading, that and how that problem can be solved with generic methods, we already learned. Similarly, we can have a single class declaration, and that can be used with a set of related types. Okay, now in this lecture we are going to connect how this generic class can be connected with the inheritance. To do this, we have three ways of connecting this generic concept and inheritance. First way is we are considering only our superclass as generic class. Okay, and the second way is we are considering our subclass as generic, and the third way is we are considering our superclass and subclass both as generic. We are going to learn in detail about all these three one by one with example. Okay, so let us start with the first type, that is only superclass is considered as generic. So in this case, the name itself it is telling we will be having one superclass and one subclass. Okay, as an example, let me take this is our superclass. Now you can see here my superclass name is super A. Now we know how to convert a class to a generic class. We need to have a placeholder which will be taking the object type, and that will be copied here, and wherever you have T here, that will be copied with that type whatever you are creating, what type of object you are creating. Right, so here this is a superclass. Here in the superclass, what I have done is, which is a generic class, what I have done is I have taken one variable called A, and then I have taken one constructor where this constructor will be helpful in initializing this instance variable, and I am taking one method called get, a method where it will be returning that instance variable. Very simple, there is no complexity in this one. Now I am taking one more class which is called as a sub A. Now this sub A class will be extending this super A. Now this sub A is not a generic class. Observe here, only our super class is a generic class. So sub A is extending the properties of super A. Now this sub A is having its own constructor, and it is not a generic class. So whenever you are you want to call any if you want to call the superclass constructor, you need to pass the argument, because the superclass constructor will require one value of what type of any type it can accept, but subclass here it is confined, like it will be accepting only integer type. As it is not a generic class, we have to tell what is the data type. If it is a generic class, we will be using the same placeholder concept and all. Now this is our first category where only superclass is considered as a generic class. Okay, now we will be taking our main method. You can see in the main method I have created an object of sub. Okay, and I need to pass only integer. Why I need to pass only integer? Because sub A is not a generic class. Even if you remove this integer also, it will work. It will work perfectly right. You can create integer one variable integer, and that can be passed as an argument, or else you can write like this. Are you following why I am passing only integer? Because the subclass will accept only integer, and whatever 10 value are passing here, that will be sent here, and n1 will be now 10, and super of 10, that means we are calling the superclass constructor. Now this will be integer depending upon the value whatever you are getting, and n value will be 10. Now a value will be assigned to 10, like that. Now whenever you are calling your s dot get a, we can use s dot get a. Even if s is a subclass object, we can call superclass method also using that one, because this is extending this property. So whenever you write s dot get a, it will be returning a value, that value will be printed. So in our case our output will be 10. So this is how only superclass can be your generic class, or else we have the second way where only the subclass is the generic. See, we have to take a normal class here. Super A is normal class here, okay, where we have one instance variable. As this is a normal class, we need to specify the data type, and this is the constructor, and this is the method in that class. This is a normal class. Now I am taking my subclass as a generic class. So whenever you are saying generic class, you need to have a placeholder next to your class name, isn't it or not? And here it extends the super A. So all the properties whatever you have here, that can be used in our subclass also. Now if you see, for this subclass I am taking one more variable called t, instance variable t, and it is of type t. So whatever object you are creating, at that time you need to tell what is the data type of this one. Okay, and then I want to call this super A. Always remember, this super class constructor requires integer value only. So sub A should accept one integer value and another variable of any type, or else always make sure like it accepts if you are writing only one variable. And if you want to use this super keyword, then if you want to pass any value, make sure like you are accepting only integer value only. Or else if you want to pass integer value to the superclass constructor and one more variable t if you want to assign, that should be of x type. Why? Because small t is of t type and x should be of t type. So we can assign this t value to x value to t. And we can have one more method called get t, which is used to return the t value. Now you can observe here in the main method, I am creating an object of a and I am telling the data type of that t is string. Okay, so wherever you have t, that will be replaced with string. Now I am passing two values, 10 and Jyoti, so that the constructor will be having n1 value as 10 and t value as Jyoti, x, that means t value is string and x value is Jyoti. So super of n1 means n1 value will be integer because it is non-generic class. So you have to specify the data type and it always accepts the integer value. So there is no problem here. You will be assigning the value of a to 10 and t value is assigned to Jyoti value. Right? Now whenever you are trying to call s dot get a, then what happens? A value will be returned, and you can call s dot get t where t value will be returned. So if you compile this program, you will be getting an output call of 10 and Jyoti, whatever arguments you have passed. Only thing here you need to observe here is your subclass is generic class. So this approach is also valid. The third way is where your superclass and subclass both are generic. Okay, so here what happens? Your superclass is also a generic class. So we are taking an instance variable, you are taking one constructor and one method. And similarly, you are taking one subclass which is also a generic. So that's why we have placed the placeholder here also and placeholder here also, which is extending the super A, and this is having its constructor. Right? Now when in the main method you are creating an object of a, so you can create an object which is of integer, or else you can create an object of subclass which is of string type. So this will be working for anything, and you can pass whatever value you are getting, because this can also accept the integer value and string value whatever you are passing. So in this if you run this program, you will be getting an output of 10 and Jyoti. Observe here in the earlier two cases, some limitations are there, like either the superclass will be working on a specific type, or either the subclass will be working for a specific type. But if you want to have a flexibility like both superclass and subclass should work for any type of object, then you need to make both the classes like superclass and subclass as generic class. Okay, so we have learned like these are the three different ways of connecting your inheritance concept to generic. But here you need to make one more point. What is it? Subclass is free to use its own type parameters if needed. That means we learned like this. It is not like if you have a superclass is of one object type, if it is accepting, it is not like subclass also should accept only one type. That construct is not, that constraint is not there. That subclass is free to use its own type parameter if needed. You can see here what you are saying. Superclass is taking only one type parameter, but subclass can have its own number of parameters. That is what I have taken 2 here. So according to your application, you can write whatever you want. So here both super and subclass both are of generic type only, but it is not limited like subclass should have only that many number of type parameters. No, it is not the case. It is free to have its own number of type parameters. So if you see the main method, sub A, as it is requesting two type parameters, so I am passing integer and string. Integer, you need to specify 2. If you are writing 2 here, you need to specify 2. Okay, and you are calling s dot get a and you are calling s dot get t. You can do that, right? Now if you run this program, this is the output you will be getting. Now as inheritance is supported, you have an option of overriding the generic class methods also, because inheritance is acceptable with generic classes. So we can say what are all the methods we have in the superclass generic class, all those methods can be overridden in a subclass. That means if you see this is the superclass and it is having a method called get a, and if you take one more method called sub a, which can be a generic class and which can't be this one also, but it should extend the if it is extending the super A, then you can have an option of overriding that method. You can have different method definitions. Okay, here I have written both the cases written here only, but you can have your own definitions for your its respective methods. So if you write, see here, super A, I am creating an integer, S1 is of integer value, and sub B, you can see, okay, I think I have created a wrong thing. This is sub A. Okay, make a note all of you. This is sub A, not sub B. Okay, sub A, and I am creating S2 and S3. So S1 dot get A will be calling this one, S2 dot get A will be calling this one, and S3 dot get A also will be calling this one. But S2 will be working with integer and S3 will be working with string. Okay, just make a note all of you here. I'll also write here. This is A, not B. This is sub A. This class. I am talking about this class. It is not sub B. This is sub A. Okay, make a note that one all of you. So for super class, for this one you have created an object of S1. So whenever you are calling S1 dot get A, this method will be called. Now for sub, you have created two methods, that is S2, where S2 will be accepting the integer value, right, and S3 you have created one more where it will be accepting the string value. That's why you have passed the Jyoti as an argument for that one. Now whenever you call S2 dot get A, this method will be called, overridden method will be called. Now if you run this program, you will be getting an output of 10 and 20. So this is how generic class concept and an inheritance concept can be created, can be connected. Okay, I'm repeating once again, your generic class and your normal inheritance concept can be connected in three ways, where your superclass can be constructed, superclass can be a generic class, your subclass can be a generic class, or both super and subclass can be generic class. And one more two rules, like two things is, your subclass can have, it is free for having multiple, like more than one placeholder also, and overriding of generic class methods is also possible. Okay, so I hope you all are clear with this concept of generic class and inheritance concept, right? So let us all meet in our next lecture. Until then, thank you all of you.